What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of SmackDown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE spoiled a Rumble with the worst botch ever. Is that John Cena? The real reason why the wrestler left WWE? The WWE 2K26 cover star revealed, a star spotted in Saudi Arabia, a former champion eyeing a WrestleMania return, the Royal Rumble stage revealed, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, the SETH. The SETH was a definitive standout for SmackDown tonight. The SETH looked absolutely grand, and it's easy to see why reports were saying that the Royal Rumble would be at WrestleMania levels in terms of presentation and staging. I mean, seriously, when they zoomed out from this all, it just looked like the coldest setting I've ever seen for the Royal Rumble. Number 2, aura farming. Now, the opening segment for SmackDown lasted 30 minutes in total, and it mainly featured the top babyfaces in WWE, that being Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, and Jey Uso aura farming. Each name would put themselves over ahead of the Royal Rumble tomorrow before the vision would interrupt. After a verbal back and forth, it was declared that a stacked 8-person tag match would occur in the main event of the show. The main event itself was a passable main event, but it would have been so nice to see the main event of the show have some compelling Rumble implications. And Hayes vs. Phoenix. Rey Fenix answered the US title open challenge on SmackDown, and as expected, the match was tremendous. Phoenix deserves a moderate push up the card, as he's one of the more underrated names on the entire roster, and his lack of crowd response from the Saudi crowd was alarming to say the very least. I mean, seriously, there was zero reaction. Now, there are calls for WWE to give the US title an actual storyline, as the open challenge is an easy fix, but there still needs to be compelling storylines surrounding the title itself. That was a good. What about the bad? Is number 1, commercials galore. SmackDown is once again a 3-hour product, but they appear to be filling this time with extra commercials. Tonight's broadcast was rammed with commercials from front to end, and it was almost as if WWE didn't have anything to showcase on the show itself, so they just kept cutting to a commercial. Now, this is extremely frustrating as a viewer and doesn't make for a positive viewing experience at all. Number 2, what brand split? Does the brand split just not apply on the go-home editions of the big PLEs? While numerous Raw stars were featured on the SmackDown broadcast, and it was never remotely explained why Raw stars were now able to perform on the show. I mean, we get it, the Royal Rumble's tomorrow, but could we at least have an explanation as to why they're just appearing on the show? And number 3 is AJ retiring. AJ Styles and Gunther exchanged words during a promo segment on SmackDown, and if this is the last time AJ is on the SmackDown brand as an active star, WWE did him a true disservice. The promo segment offered absolutely nothing new, and it was just a copy and pasted promo script from their prior promos in the month of January. I mean, how many times we gotta listen to "you tapped out like a little bitch"? Kind of overkill at this point. But that was the good, the bad. What about the downright ugly? As WWE spoiled the Rumble with the worst Rumble botch ever. WWE's production team really messed up big time during SmackDown. During an entrance on the show, WWE accidentally presented the name card for Bron Breakker tomorrow, and now it's revealed that Breakker will enter the men's Royal Rumble at entrant number 1. Now, this botch will no doubt be edited out of the USA Network version of the show, and it'll be interesting to see if this influences WWE to change course and move Breakker away from the number 1 position. The only problem is that having Breakker in the number 1 spot, there's got to be a lot of storyline and spots surrounding him, so they can't just change him over to number 20 or number 10. Perhaps he's even the Iron Man in tomorrow's Rumble. We just know that Triple H must have been screwing at this, as it was on social media immediately. What do you guys think of the go-home edition of SmackDown before the Rumble? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at the real reason why this wrestler left WWE. Our top story today looks at the real reason for a recent WWE exit. Tommaso Ciampa formally departed WWE last week, and this week he made his official debut on AEW television. And not much information was known in relation to why Ciampa left WWE, but logic suggested that due to Ciampa not being used much on television, Ciampa wanted to spread his wings, but this was never confirmed. But now the former NXT champion has broken his silence, and revealed during an interview with Sports Illustrated why exactly he departed the company. It's something I've been leaning towards for quite some time. I don't know if I can say that there's one sole factor that led to it or caused it. I think it's one of those things when your contract is coming to an end, you naturally have discussions. Ciampa then added that joining AEW is a natural progression of his pro wrestling career. If I wrestled in the 90s, I want to be part of ECW. Early 2000s, you want to be part of Ring of Honor. I was lucky to do that a little bit. 2010s, I think for me at least, I wanted to be part of the NXT Black and Gold. When I looked at the landscape of professional wrestling in the 2020s, the answer was AEW, man. That's what I want to be a part of. Ciampa then delved into creative limitations within WWE, and it appears that this was a key factor in him deciding to leave. There were a lot of times I tried, and for one reason or another, it just wasn't something I could do. But for Tony Khan and the whole crew to just collaborate the way they did and have open arms and see the vision and just allow it to breathe and have a chance, I'm already thinking 6 months, 12 months ahead on the evolution of the Psycho Killer. Ciampa is now set to make his in-ring debut for AEW tomorrow night as he will challenge for the TNT title. Next up, John Cena was shown at the kickoff. During the kickoff, nothing much happened other than a bit of talking, but it wasn't what was going on the stage. People were more fixed on what was going on the side of it. Fans were paying close attention and saw that John Cena's Rumble graphic showed up. Why is Saudi Arabia promoting John Cena for the Rumble when they know that he's not going to be there at all? Next up, WWE 2K26 cover star revealed. Now it's official, CM Punk will grace the cover of WWE 2K26. The announcement was made on the kickoff show for the Royal Rumble today, and this marks Punk's first WWE game cover since WWE 13 over a decade ago. This man's really been on the best run of his career. He had a feud of the year, main evented WrestleMania, won a world title, and now he's a cover star again. Next up, the Royal Rumble stage revealed. During the kickoff show, WWE also revealed the epic Royal Rumble stage. When there were rumors that this was going to be a WrestleMania level presentation, they weren't kidding, as they've gone all out for the stage, as it looks like the skyline of Dubai. It's great that the Royal Rumble finally has a larger than life set, as for the last couple of years, the set design hasn't been very great, and that's really due to them packing as many people into the stadium as much as possible. But this year, they've definitely gone all out. Next up, WWE stars paying for Rumble gear. It's been confirmed that the women in the Royal Rumble tomorrow will be wearing unique attires, and whilst this is expected, it's now been revealed that the women in the match are responsible for paying for their own gear. Naturally, this revelation has social media up in arms, and the initial report comes from Fightful Select. Rumble is in Saudi Arabia, which means different attires for women wrestling in the area. WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select spoke to a talent involved in this weekend's Rumble match. The talent said that the same parameters were still in place. That talent said that there was no coordinated effort to make sure that anything was differentiated from others in the match. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful spoke with the talent who said that they were responsible for paying for and having their own gear made for the show to fit those parameters. Wrestlers in WWE paying for their own attires isn't anything new, and there are now calls from fans for WWE to subsidize attires when the shows are taking place in Saudi Arabia. Next up, Seth Rollins roasts Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's lackluster declaration for the Royal Rumble left a lot to be desired. One WWE name has called Lesnar out for this. Speaking to ESPN, former WWE champion Seth Rollins stated that it appears that Lesnar didn't want to bother showing up to work, but he notes that Lesnar has to be considered a favorite. That is the most Brock Lesnar way I've ever seen to announce your entry into the Royal Rumble. I don't want to show up for work, don't want to leave the farm, just calls into McAfee and says, I'm in. Now he's going to get a jet, go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and have a good shot at winning the Rumble. Lesnar was heavily advertised for the show in advance, but it is somewhat of a surprise that he didn't make a single TV appearance to hype up the match. Next up, a star spotted in Saudi Arabia. This one could definitely contain some spoilers into who is going to be in the Royal Rumble match as a surprise entrant, so if you don't want to know, be sure to skip over to the next story. It seems that the WWE talent are having a lot of fun in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. As when Bloodline member Tama Tonga took a video of him smoking shisha, you could maybe see a familiar face in the background. That familiar face is Mr. Iguana, well, without his makeup. This more or less confirms that he's going to be a surprise entrant in the Men's Royal Rumble match. Next up, a former champion eyeing WrestleMania return. Speaking of Seth Rollins, could the talented star be getting set to make a major return at WrestleMania this coming April? Appearing on the Sal Licata show, Rollins said that he was eyeballing a potential return in time for WrestleMania 42, but the interesting thing about these comments was that he admitted that the decision regarding whether he's cleared is out of his hands. Ultimately, the decision is not up to me. I do everything that they put in front of me, try to hit all of my markers as far as rehabilitation is concerned, get myself ready. I think anytime you're in our profession, WrestleMania is the main goal, so yeah, I'm eyeballing WrestleMania. I'd love to be involved in some capacity, but at the end of the day, I don't make that final call. The doctor's got to make that decision and let me know if I'm good enough to do that. If the timeline fits, we'll see. Rollins was set to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but these plans have now changed. If Rollins is medically cleared, it's unknown who he will face, It is possible that WWE books him in a singles match versus Bron Breakker on the grand stage. Next up, AJ Styles almost joined AEW. Now, a new report from Selfmade has shed some light on AJ Styles' WWE status. Last year, AJ signed a 1-year extension to his WWE contract, and it turns out that last year, before this extension was signed, he was on his way to Tony Khan's promotion. I can tell you, before I pass it to you all, that on 2 occasions in the last 7 years, AJ Styles not only seriously considered going to AEW, he was actually going to AEW. And I can tell you that last year, before he signed that 1-year extension, he absolutely for a very brief period was going to AEW. It was a thing he decided he was going to do. AJ is set to wrestle Gunther tomorrow night at the Rumble, and if he loses this match, then there's no stopping the former WWE champion from heading to AEW for a run in the company. Do you think that's AJ's final ever goal? And finally, another WWE return incoming? Our final story today looks at yet another WWE return. It was reported yesterday via Fightful Select that color commentator Pat McAfee is set to return to the company. A familiar face is likely to come back soon. Pat McAfee has been off WWE television for quite some time as he's been doing television duties for football. However, he could be headed back soon. WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select reported that WWE sources believe that they expect Pat McAfee back in the company soon. His schedule or capacity isn't quite known as of yet. And this was bound to happen when McAfee finished with his football commitments, and he no doubt will be back in time to call WrestleMania 42 in April. Whilst McAfee certainly has his fans, there are calls for WWE to keep their 2 respective color commentators intact, those being Corey Graves and Wade Barrett respectively. Both of these names are tremendous in their role, and it'd be unfair if one of these names is pushed aside in favor of McAfee. It's possible that WWE moves forward with a 3-person booth, but this remains to be seen at this stage. But there you have it folks, our look at SmackDown as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.